Do you remember when you got your first TV?
It was probably 1950.
Yeah. So microphone.
And now don't look at the old.
That's right. Right.
Do you remember the worst thing you did?
You think I might have done something bad?
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
Grandma Mary, you're the best.
You've brought a lot of joy in my life.
I want to know about your parents.
Okay. My father was Lee Martin Peter. He was born October 7th, 1900. And my mother was Anna Catherine Gerard Peter. And she was born April 28th, 1900 in Marshall County. But Grandpa Peter, Lee Peter, was born on the family farm 1 mile north of Young America.
I also want to know about your china that you have, like where all they come from.
Oh my. Well, your grandfather, Bud Boswell, sent the yellow rose dishes from Japan. And when he was in Korea, then he went back to Japan for rest and relaxation. They called it R&R. And he sent that set of china from there. I didn't know him at that time. We hadn't met yet. But the red dishes that are on the top shelf were my Aunt Cora Deeds, and she was a great aunt, and their Johnson brother. And the lower set is called Strawberry Fair, and it's Johnson brother too. And that was a wedding gift. And I have a set of Blue Willow that was my mother's. I also have a set of other pottery dishes that Cinda worked at the place that made them in Detroit. And so I've got a lot of dishes. Yeah.
One more question. What is your favorite memory of when you were little that you know of?
Oh, I have a lot of favorite memories. Probably when I was married, when Lynette was born and Wendell was born. Those are precious memories. And especially when all of the grandchildren were born, married, and then the wonderful thing is great-grandchildren.
Okay.
That's a lot of memories in it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm back because I had another question in mind. Grandma has told me the story. But when my dad asked about your best friend, Lois, across the street, it reminded me of the story she told me, about when she cut your hair. Can you tell us about that?
Okay. That was a cousin of mine, Francis, and we sometimes would have Sunday dinners, and so my bedroom, I had a dresser, a dressing table that had the mirror and a bench and drawers on each side. And she had really black hair, straight, and mine was blonde and curly. But we thought we'd play beauty shop. And so I was first to sit, and she was cutting my hair. And we got caught. I never got the opportunity to cut her hair. And her mother's name was Mary. And she cried because my blonde curls had been cut off. But my mother said, "It's okay. It's only hair. It'll grow back."
Did it grow back as like how it was, or did it like change?
It did. But I have to tell you too that I cried every morning when my mother brushed my hair, my curls, and to get the rats out, And she had my hair cut. And that was at the barber shop at Young America. And the barber had a board that he put across the arms of his chair and set me up on it and gave me a bob.
So like the one that you had?
Yes. And so she only had short hair to brush in the morning, and I didn't cry before school.
Another question I have is around the time like to 2013 to 2014 when me and Jubilee were little, about just like some memories you have of that time, maybe when we were little. Any of them?
Well, we never went a lot of places because we had chores to do. And so I remember coloring and then playing the piano. I took lessons when I was probably 5, started, And I had dolls to play with, and that's what I remember doing.
My question would be the farmstead. Who built your family farmstead? Was that your great grandpa that built the house and barn?
My grandfather, William Allen Peter, and his grandma's name was Elizabeth, but we called her Lizzie. Everyone did. And they had come from, I think, Pennsylvania and settled at Frankfurt. And then Grandpa and Grandma came to Young America and had a bakery. But Grandpa bought the 160-acre farm that was a mile north of Young America, and 60-rod seas to the driveway. And he built the house and the barn. And the house was new when my dad was born there in that house. And all of us kids, except Uncle Bill, he was born at the hospital in Logan. But Uncle Bob and I were born in that house too. But Grandpa Peter was a carpenter. My grandpa Peter was a carpenter. And so he built that house. And he also built coffins and cabinets. And I'm not sure what all happened to his woodworking tools, but the carpenter side that you and Donnie have probably inherited came from the Peter side of the family as well as Kennedy, because they were builders too.
Who is your first childhood friend?
My first childhood friend was the next farm neighbor girl, Lois. And she was 3 years older than me. Yeah.
I already know that your first car was a Chevy Coupe, but of all the cars you've had in your life, which one is your favorite?
I loved that 1952 Chevy Coupe. And but when I was married in 1959, we had a new car, and Impala 1959, and Bud said, "You don't need the car." So I sold it, but I should have kept it. I loved that car.
What is your favorite? I know this is going to be hard. Song. I know this is going to be really tough for you.
It is because, I like so many, but I love Deep Purple and Going Home, and I don't know. I can't really say, because when I would play, I would think that's my favorite song, and I like all music.
I know you do. That's why I asked that question. I knew it'd be almost virtually impossible to answer.
And I like Lloyd Webber, The Phantom of the Opera. Yeah.
What's your favorite instrument to play? Since you play the piano and the organ, I know you played the xylophone before, and the harp, and the violin, and what else?
The organ.
The organ's by far your favorite.
The organ. Yeah.
I thought it might be, but I had to ask for sure.
Yeah. I loved playing the organ.
What was your favorite childhood radio program?
Probably Fibber McGee and Molly.
And what was it about?
It was funny. And a family, and maybe open a closet door and everything fall out, and that kind of stuff. Silly stuff, I guess, but it was funny. And the Lone Ranger and Tonto, yeah,
And did these programs come on just once a week?
yes,
And you sit around as a family in the living room and listen to the programs?
yeah, right. No TV,
No.
yeah,
Do you remember when you got your first TV?
yes, I do. And Uncle Bill brought it home, and so it was probably 1950, maybe. And it sat on that white stand down there and was probably 13 inches, black and white. Mhm. Yeah.
When you were a little girl, what was the first thing that you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh, I wanted to be a nurse, and then I wanted to be a librarian. And
What is your fondest memory of each of your parents?
I guess how much love and the way they raised we kids. Um, they were loving, kind people, and I guess a precious memory that I have is like at Thanksgiving and Christmas, Easter. Of course, we always went to church, but Grandma Peter was a marvelous cook, and neighbors of ours, it just a husband, wife, and son that was not quite right, you know. But mother would always prepare a meal for them, and it was a full meal. And she would bake an extra pie for them, an extra loaf of bread, or whatever. And there was always enough that they could have dinner and supper. And there would be undoubtedly leftovers. And before we sat down at our table, this meal was delivered to them. And I think they cared about other people, and they taught us to care about others too. Yeah. And never looked down on someone. Never, never. Mhm.
That's good to know. What is your favorite thing that your mom made?
Oh, homemade bread.
Good bread breaker, good baker, good
Oh,
bread baker.
and when we come home from school, and she'd have fresh bread that would still be warm, and that bread and homemade butter was wonderful. but she was a good cook, a really good cook. She made noodles and dumplings, and you know, we had our own meat because we butchered and chickens, and she would go out and kill a chicken, and we'd have it for supper.
Hmm.
You know, we had dinner and supper back then.
Of all the things in your life throughout your life, what is the most shocking thing that's happened in your lifetime? Not to you personally, but like what's happened throughout the world? Like, because I mean, there's so much that's happened. What's the most shocking thing? I know this is a hard question.
Probably when J.F. Kennedy was shot.
Was that one of the most shocking things
To
to happen?
to think that that could happen in our country, yes,
Because times were good then, and then that happened, right? Correct? It was kind of a
yes.
decent time, and then that sort of.
There has always been hatred, but you know, for the president of the United States to be shot, you know, killed in cold blood, that was shocking, really shocking.
What is your favorite hobby? And you can't say reading. You cannot say reading books. If you could do any hobby, what would really interest you?
Probably being able to play the piano and the organ again, but somehow this MG has limited my vision, coordination, and my fingers don't work there.
When you were growing up, what was your favorite game to play? Did you guys play games?
No, Grandpa and Grandma Peter lived with us, and she thought that cards were evil. And so,
So I guess that's a big no-no on the whole
yeah,
game saying they shot that down pretty
so
quickly.
yeah, and we had Monopoly, but you couldn't play it on Sunday. That everything was in that secretary and shut up, you know. But uh, I never liked the board games because Uncle Bill and Uncle Bob, my brothers, were they played for blood and were serious. And I didn't want to be serious. And I would rather read a book or play the piano and or sing and annoy them.
Well, your brothers are very strategic too, so I'm sure if they played a game like Clue or something like that, they would be for each other's throats for sure. I can see
They
that from
they
me
had
knowing
a
them.
cribbage board and yeah, and an old mate deck too. They could play that, but they were serious and competitive. Yes,
What is your favorite restaurant in your entire life? Where's your most favorite place to go eat out? Which you probably didn't do much until later on, I'm sure, in life.
right. Probably a place that isn't anymore, and that was Froggy's in
Froggies.
Peru.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And he cured his own beef, so his steaks were wonderful. all the food was really good there. That was down on Grant Street. Mhm.
What is your favorite vacation you've ever taken? And where did you go?
Probably to Germany.
That makes sense.
Um, but also the Blue Ridge Mountains. Yeah,
Yes, we know you like the mountains.
yeah.
You like the
I
mountains for sure.
love the Appalachians, yes. Mhm. And oh, the last vacation that we took as a family before Grandpa Boswell died was to Fort Lee, Virginia, where Uncle Bill was stationed at that time. And we came back through the Blue Ridge. And that was the last vacation that we took as a family. But then on my bucket list to go back there again, Wendell flew home, surprised me. And the night before, your mother and I were to leave, and we drove back to his house in Georgia through the Blue Ridge, and that was special to have them with me. And they remembered, even though your mother was 8 and Wendell just turned 6, but they remembered places along the way and where we had stopped, even some of the lookouts. Yeah. So,
Have you only lived in 2 places in your entire 90 years? You've only lived on the original homestead that you were born at and in this home here that we're talking at today?
that is true. That is true. Yes. Yeah. And I only had 3 elementary teachers.
Only 3?
Yes.
How did that work? Was somebody for like kindergarten? Well, you didn't really have kindergarten, so you
Well,
went straight to 1st grade, correct?
yeah. And let me clarify that. 2, only 2. Mrs. Cox for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, and Mrs. Harris then for the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And she was a wonderful teacher, wrote, read stories. Oh, she'd read to us every afternoon. And I remember her reading Silas Marner. You know, yeah.
Was your high school, how did that work in high school then? Did you guys all go to one building and then did you do like they do today and switch classes? Or did you just be with your classmates in certain classes?
This is a picture of Young America High School, and the west. This is looking east, and the west side there was the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade room, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and the music and art room. There was a hallway. This was a home ec room, This, of course, was the entrance, the principal's office, which he didn't want to go to, and the shop. Boys were taught shop. It had a basement and a boiler room that was under the shop. And eventually, a kitchen under the home ec room, and we were served meals, and we didn't have to take our lunch anymore. This was geography, science, biology, economics, and this was so commerce, typing, bookkeeping, shorthand, and the west side was the assembly. And then there was a room here that was mathematics and a coat room and English and library over here.
Oh,
So
well, that's good to know.
the junior high, we sat at the east side of the assembly, and the high school, then no partition, all one great big room. But remember, I graduated with 14. There were 14 in my class.
That's counting you, correct? There was 14 total counting you.
Yeah. But when I started school, I was 5. And the township trustee came to ask if my parents would send me because there was one other boy to go to school. And Bob Beck and I started school together, the two of us, and we graduated together. Now, Deer Creek Township of Cass County is divided in the center by Deer Creek. And so south of the creek, the children went to Young America. North of the creek, the children went to Deacon until the 7th grade. It was only 1 through 6 there. Then they came to Young America. And so we were in the 3rd grade before Jay came. And so there were 3 of us. And then Roger, I think, came in 5th grade. I was the only girl. But then when we got into junior high, then I had girls in the class.
That came from Deacon.
They came from Deacon, but they all knew each other, and I was like a sore thumb. I didn't quite fit in with them, but I never learned the catty things that girls do until 7th grade.
Oh, so that was an eye-opening experience for you then,
It
when the
sure
girls came
was.
from Deacon.
I was raised with brothers, the neighbor girl that was older than me, and boys in the class, and then you had these catty girls came. but some of us became really good friends. Jane and that from Alaska, you know.
Yes, and your class, they all lived a really long time, correct? Everybody that was in your class lived to be in their mid 80s, correct? Or over 80 at least? Like
Yeah,
every single person?
and there are 6 of us left out of the 14, and we graduated in 1953, and that's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah,
That's pretty good, really.
yeah. And I was the youngest in the class be, because um, of my birthday, and then starting when I did, you know. So
Um, what's your most memories of your dad? Because I know he was kind of a quiet guy, correct? Kind of
yes,
a quiet fella, and he was a farmer. So, what's your best memory of
yeah,
him, or your favorite memory, I should say?
okay. He read a lot, and he was very gentle, and except when the boys were both in service, and so um, he had me to drive the tractor. You know, he he never yelled or anything, but I learned to drive the car before the tractor, and we were going back the lane, and he was standing on the wagon, and he said, "Now you put it in first." And so we're rolling along pretty good. And I thought I needed to shift gears, you know, but you don't shift gears on a tractor. And so he did yell at me. He about fell off the wagon. And then he kind of expected me to be able to back that wagon into the barn, into the shed part that was attached, you know.
Are you saying that with that eye look, I kind of consider that that was not happening?
And I said, if you want a hired hand, you're going to have to hire one, because I can't do that. I never hooked a wagon on the back of my tricycle. I never had a tricycle.
No, you didn't. You guys didn't really have bikes,
No,
correct? That's why I didn't ask that question
no,
about your childhood because I knew you guys didn't have bikes,
no.
really.
But Uncle Bill bought a bike of his own, and so we we all shared, and I learned to. Um, there was kind of a hill, a little hill, and Uncle Bob got me on the track or bike because my short legs, and he shoved me, and I went down that lane on the bike. That's how I learned to ride the bike, and that was a real good experience. I, I didn't know to use a brake or put my foot out, or so what do? You crash.
There you go. You
Yeah.
do crash.
Oh, well. I think that Uncle Bob may have wanted to get rid of me. I don't know.
Uncle Bob wanted to get rid of you?
Yeah, that might
Right.
be.
Were you, well, you probably tagged around with Bob more than Bill because Bill was a few years older and he
He
was probably
was,
always helping your dad on the farm, I'm sure.
yeah,
So you're
and
probably helping your mom in the garden and
and
with your grandparents.
he was Uncle Bill was really quiet and everything too, and so I guess I was a pest.
You were the little sister pest.
Yeah,
Well, how many years be?
can
Well,
you imagine that?
no, I
Yeah,
can't. But yes, Uncle Bill was very quiet. And Uncle Bob was pretty quiet too. That's why I
yeah,
figured that was your grandparents very quiet too. Were they kind of soft
yes,
spoken too?
yes, yes.
Kind of strange that your grandson is not.
My grandpa, William Peter, got his arm caught in a corn shredder, so it was off.
Also,
You
he
know,
basically only had like halfway between his forearm and his arm
yes,
left.
yes.
How old was he when that happened?
Oh, I'm not sure because it happened um, long before I was born, and might have been 1929 or so
Mm-hmm.
when that happened. And so I remember him um, sitting in a rocking chair with this crooked pipe, you know. And if I had an earache, which I did uh, several, and growing up, he would rock me and blow smoke in my ear, and it it helped.
It
I
helped.
think just because Grandpa helped me and rocked me, probably.
Do you remember what smell the tobacco was? Was it a flavored tobacco or was it just regular original? Or you
He
probably remember that too, don't you?
my dad smoked cherry flavored,
Cherry, huh?
yeah, and it did smell good. Yeah, it really did.
Your mom, besides obviously doing a garden and cooking probably nonstop because there was no place to go eat besides at your house, what other hobbies did she have? Knitting, I'm sure, or doilies, or
She tatted and crocheted and sewed. She made our clothes, her, her dresses and my clothes. Yeah, I don't remember her making the boys' clothes, or dad's, but she did ours. Mhm. Yeah. So, and of course, um, we didn't have running water in that house until I was a junior in high school.
so in 1952, you guys got running water,
Yes,
roughly
and
51,
and
52.
a inside bathroom. But we had a pump on the back porch,
Ah,
and we had a cistern out on the step, and the west step, and we that cistern water was we would pump that and carry it and fill a wash boiler that sat on a glass gas hot plate, and that was how the laundry was done. And but the pump was in the middle of the barnyard,
Mhm.
and that was pumped then to the horse tank and to another tank that the milk was in cans, it was canned milk that we had. And there was a smaller, um, like trough that was cans set in, and water was pumped into that.
Did you have a guy come pick up your milk, or did you guys pretty much use all your own milk?
Well, we used our own milk, but someone picked it
So
up.
you had a
Yeah,
guy to pick up on your can
yeah,
route?
yeah.
Did you never really got into riding horses, did you, on your farm, did you?
No, I always wanted riding horses. We had work horses, and I remember the first tractor in the neighborhood, and the neighbor, Clyde Williamson, had a Ford, and it had steel wheels.
With little knobbies on it?
Right.
So since you didn't have running water until you were a junior in high school, did you guys have a big tub in your house so you had to heat all the water up for bath day?
We had the galvanized tubs,
Oh, so basically like a big horse trough you took a bath in?
a big round uh, tub, and but I had a washstand upstairs, and the ironstone wash bowl, and a pitcher, and there was a potty with that too. But that pitcher, I would fill that with hot water and carry it upstairs. And I took my bath in that bowl after we got older. I mean, I guess when we were kids, we were in that tub.
So your dad technically never lived anywhere else but the homestead that your
That's
grandpa
right.
built, and your grandpa and them came from Pennsylvania. That's very interesting. Did you have a lot of cousins around your area when you were growing up?
Yes,
You did?
yes. And because Grandma and Grandpa Peter lived with us, the rest of the family came to visit. And the cousins, second cousins, really were more our age, than well, the first cousins were almost as old as Dad because he was the youngest of, he had a older brother and sister. And, but he was, I think there were like, kind of like Carrie and Donnie. I think he was 14 when Carrie
Okay.
was born. And I think
So
that's
they were
how,
all right by the time, he was 14, they were already had kids of their own and whatnot. And I get it.
yeah,
So they're
right.
basically, he was the baby.
Hmm.
Huh. Very
Right.
interesting.
So, but like Elizabeth, that was Uncle Orton's daughter, one of them, uh, her children are my age. And so they're still living, and we get together occasionally to
Hmm.
keep in touch anyway. So,
I know that your dad was a farmer, but what do you know if he ever wanted to do anything else besides be a farmer?
no,
He wanted to always be a farmer.
I guess. And kind of like Uncle Bob, farming was it. And Dad could fix anything, you know. He really could. He he could have been a carpenter too.
I think that about wraps me up here.
Okay.
I think I've asked all the questions I can think of to ask. Who's up next?
Can you believe it? And I had come over here and stood in front of the TV, and I thought, this isn't possible. It isn't real, you know.
Did you vote for him?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm sure.
yes.
My grandma loved JFK. You know that. She has the statue in her living room.
Didn't we all?
Right. So
And
I would imagine that
Jackie, you know, yeah.
it just affected your generation. It really did. I
Oh,
think because that is maybe one of the first political acts of violence there was, maybe.
there may have been threats before, but I don't know of them, you know,
Mm.
and but there hadn't been a threat uh, against his life. I don't think at all. It just happened, and so it was very shocking. Yeah,
Mm.
but he was a great president, and
Do you think Harvey Lee Oswald acted alone? What's your theory?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
Do you
I
it was
don't
it was the government that killed him, right? CIA?
they say, yeah, and so, and that may well have been, we'll never know for sure.
Well, they've released some information on it, but they said that they won't until everyone that has involved in that has passed.
Right,
So maybe we will know.
maybe so.
I don't know. I found it interesting. I didn't know your grandparents were from Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Where were they from?
Well, um, the Peter family came from Zurich, Switzerland,
Oh.
but they were German.
Mm.
And I think Zurich at that time was kind of a German sector of Switzerland.
Mm.
But I've wondered if Heidi has always been my favorite childhood
Mm.
book. And the mountains, and I love the mountains, and I wonder if is that part of my heritage that I feel at home when I'm on top of the mountain.
So do you still have family out in Pennsylvania? The Peters?
Not that I know of. And now, Grandma Peter was Schneider, and that's German. I always told Marcus we're probably relation, you know.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, go back. And but the Pennsylvania Dutch
Mm.
and the Kindigs, they came from Pennsylvania too. And so, but Lucy, a cousin of ours, did genealogy, and she traced the family back to England
Mm.
and Staffordshire, England. And so um, I, I don't know. She said that that part of the family came in um, Virginia in that way. So I don't know.
Do you know why your grandparents chose to come to Indiana?
No.
No. They
no.
must not like Pennsylvania, right? Or for
And
land.
and I wonder, it was part of the movement west, which, and so they were farm oriented, and um, around Frankfurt,
Mm.
Clinton County is good farmland too. So, and they were carpenters, and Lucy always said that we had teachers and preachers in our history too,
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Now, when you were little, when was the first time your house had a telephone? Do you remember that?
I remember always having a phone
Always.
that hung on the wall, and too long and short was our number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was a party line, and to call, we had to uh, dial the operator, Fern, at Young America, and she would say, "They're not home. They've gone to town, or they're at Doc Ed's office." She knew.
She knew the whole scoop on the town. She knew
She
everything.
knew what was going on and where people were.
Yeah. Now, how old were you when your landline got their own number? I bet that was a big deal, because then they could direct call you.
Probably in high school.
Mm. That was a lot different, right? Because then you could just call out.
Except the phone was, we weren't on a phone like we are today.
It was just, I mean, it was still on the wall.
Yes, yes.
And then the round, what is it called? Rotator?
Yeah.
Rotary phone.
Yeah, a rotary phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of technology since, I mean, a lot of technology, right? What's your favorite invention in your lifetime? Hearing that you didn't have running water, I would think running water.
Yeah.
That would be tough.
That was wonderful to have a shower and an inside bathroom. But with technology, probably the computer.
Which is funny you say, because most people your age wouldn't even know how to work a computer. I know my grandma wouldn't be able to. So, how old were you when you saw your first computer? College?
No.
No, couldn't have been.
I
Had to have been when
was
Lee was born.
I was working, and let's see, we were back in Berkshire Court. So, what year would that have been? 1999, maybe.
So before that time, though, it was just a word processor or a typewriter.
I learned to type on a manual typewriter. When I started to work then in the abstract office, that was 1969, and they had IBM typewriters, and I asked Steve after my first day if I could bring my portable Royal in, and he said, "Why don't you try another day?" But that IBM had this little ball that went back and forth, and I was always trying to do the carriage, move the carriage, and one day, and he said, "I don't care if you bring your portable in, that's fine, but if get it, let's give it another day." I could have sold IBM typewriters after I learned
Oh yeah.
everything you could do on them. He sent me to Fort Wayne to school
To train on
on
it.
it, yeah, to
Wow.
train with IBM.
Wow.
And I love the IBM typewriter. Good typewriter.
Mm. So then you had that thing forever, and then they came out with the computer. Who forced that on you? Bill?
Dave Murphy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was before the Berkshire Law. And I sat back in a room by myself, and Dave arranged for us to go to vocational school to learn about the computer. What I needed, what I've always needed, is someone to say, "You insert the paper, you do this, you do that. This is a start button." The basic, but every teacher I ever had thought that you knew all those things. And so I have been self-taught on the computer. But the keyboard was never a challenge to me.
No.
And because my typing skills were always great. And if I have to say so myself, but they were. And so to learn programs that we had for abstracting
Mm.
or law office, either one, I learned all that on my own.
Mm.
And so, but there's many things that I don't know
Oh,
about it.
I'm sure. There's many things I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was like when you sent your first email?
I guess so. Yeah. And that was kind of thrilling too. Wondered if it really went or not. But it has always amazed me too how we could put something and send a fax, and that would go
Yeah, I guess. I mean, fax machines were before.
through telephone wires,
Yeah.
and how we could I can sit in here and talk to Iris or Marcus on the phone. That was fascinating too. And then to think we text a lot now, you know, and how does that all work?
Did you ever imagine that when you were growing up and they started talking about
Oh,
all this?
heavens, no. But they also told us that no one could ever go to the moon,
Mm,
but sitting here and watched it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
That's crazy too.
yeah,
A lot of firsts happened in your lifetime.
yeah, yeah.
What's your earliest memory on the farm doing chores? Like, what's the first chore you were doing?
Gathering eggs.
Gathering eggs.
Mhm. And then feeding baby calves,
Mm.
the bucket, the baby calves. And
Did you enjoy those, or
oh,
what's the
yeah,
chore you hated?
probably gathering eggs
Oh yeah.
because um, sometimes those hens
Oh,
didn't want you to
take them.
take the eggs, you know.
They would get kind of mean. Mm,
Right.
yeah.
They peck you. Yeah.
So do you remember doing those? I'm sure from a very young age. Probably
Mhm.
grew up doing them. They
Yeah.
didn't seem any different.
No,
That was just life.
no,
Yeah.
no.
So I think that's, you know, says a lot about your generation. You guys were born working. You know what I mean?
Well, everyone had a chore to do, and I was, um, one of them was fill the wood box
Mm.
every night too in the winter, you know, and feed the dog and the cats, and yeah, mm, yeah.
And then
So
and then you always remember your mom being in the kitchen. Was
yes,
it like that?
yes,
It really was.
yeah,
She was always,
yeah,
like Lee said,
yeah.
cooking or sewing.
And, and baking, you know, and of course, canning in the summer. We had a big yard and family, um, the normal farm orchard too. So we had cherries,
Mm.
apricots, apples,
Apricots.
pears,
Wow.
plums, and everything. And everything was canned. And the grape arbor. So there was grape juice and
That you
this,
made. You guys had to make that. There was no buying that, right?
no, you
Was
you
there
just,
stores down the road, or was there just one big store you had to go in town?
yeah. Young America had a grocery. Mom would go to Logan Sport sometimes, but not often. But sugar and flour and oatmeal was about all.
All you
that-
needed?
Yeah.
Because you guys were pretty self-sufficient.
Hmm. Yeah.
That was nice.
Hmm.
When your grandpa built your house, the house, how long did that take? And where did the family live while he was doing it?
He and Grandma lived in Young America, and so they must have lived there then. And I don't know how long it
You weren't
took
around,
him.
were you?
No, I wasn't there. Yeah.
Why did your grandparents live with you? Because you guys lived with them rather in the big house?
Yes. And I think Grandpa had bought the farm, but Dad was buying it. And then Grandpa had lost his arm in the
Mm.
corn shredder, and so he wasn't able to farm fully, you know.
So he relied a lot on your dad.
Yeah, yeah. He he helped some, but he wasn't able to do a lot, and so and they were older, and back then we people lived together like that, you know, and Grandma Peter's brother, Uncle E, died, and so his widow, Aunt Annie, she would come in the winter and spend the winter with us. But
Where would she go in the summer?
she would go back to her home.
But that was
She
still around Young America?
no,
Oh.
she lived in Maltberry,
Oh, okay.
and but she didn't have to heat her house in the summer.
So she came to live with you.
Yeah.
You wanted your heat.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
So
It's so interesting to me between your life and my grandma's life. So different. How you grew up on the farm, you guys are pretty self-sufficient. And then my grandma, she talks about how they ate rice a lot because they were so poor.
yeah, we were certainly not rich. I guess poor too, really, like everyone else. But
I think everyone was poor then, right?
yeah,
But there was
we were never hungry
right.
because we had our own food and knew how to prepare it.
Right.
And so, you know,
That makes a world of difference.
yes, it really does. And like your grandma, they didn't have animals
Mm-mm.
or eggs or
Right.
milk or, you know,
Yeah.
and we didn't have.
Yeah. And it's interesting now because you still cook from scratch a lot, whereas she does not. And so, I mean, that obviously, you know, the way you were brought up, you learn that from a young age because that's all you knew.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just interesting. Two types. There was a farm girl, and then I guess my grandma would be considered more of a city girl, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she lived in town, and her mother worked, you know, in a factory, as she did. And you guys grew up on the farm.
Yeah.
It seems like farm was the way to go. Yeah, you guys were never hungry, so
It's a good life.
Mhm.
It really is a good life. Yeah.
no.
And the farm people, you know, um, getting together to help with a certain, well, the harvest especially, and the women getting the meal for the threshers, you know. And I don't know how many men might be, but the whole neighborhood, you know. And oh my,
This is just like one community coming
yes.
together.
And then when it was the harvest was done, then we would have another dinner and homemade ice cream, and of course she had cake and pie and cookies and all that.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
What's
Yeah.
the first thing you remember making start to finish from scratch? Like a cookie or a biscuit? Do you remember that?
Probably cake.
Cake.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite cake to make?
Not really. Um, the Lady Baltimore cake. It's a 3-layer white cake, but I didn't start in with that one.
Oh, yeah. That was a tough one, right?
Yeah.
You had to work your way up.
Yeah.
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 Because, Sailor is interested and she bakes a lot. And, so I was just wondering,
Yeah.
what was your favorite or your first baked item?
Yeah.
Now it's easy for kids because they have boxes.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
But you had to do it all.
Right.
Gather the eggs and everything, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Right. And the angel food cakes, and then later the German chocolate cake kind of became one of my standbys too, yeah,
Nice.
from scratch, a 3-layer. But I don't think I've made one of them since Adam and Mary were married.
Oh, wow.
And he wanted the German chocolate, and I made the German chocolate for their wedding reception.
Aw,
And, yeah.
that's nice.
Were you ever bullied in school?
Probably so. I think everyone gets bored in school, don't they? And you know what I would be bored at?
Math.
Yes. How did you guess that?
I hate math.
But you need to know that, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just so boring.
You need to be able to count change and do math. Yeah. And so I used math at work when I was an abstractor, measuring land and all that. Who would have thought?
Have you ever broken a bone in your childhood?
Yes, I did. I broke my ankle because I was running down a big hill at Dykeman Park in Logansport, and I got tangled up with a grapevine and went tumbling down the hill and broke my ankle. I could have broke my neck. It was such a big hill.
How much did this house cost? How much did this house cost?
I don't know. I don't know. I saw that I got a letter. I've not opened it yet, and it said that the house was 115 years old. But when we bought it, when your grandpa Boswell and I bought it from the family, we we paid, I think, like $30,000 for the house and the 40 acres, which would have been half of its value at that time. Things weren't as expensive back then as they are now. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever have a favorite color? And why? Your favorite color, Grandma?
Probably blue.
Do you know why?
No.
Come on.
I like the blue sky and the blue of the ocean. Yeah.
What were the difficulties of handling Grandma Net and Wendell?
Well, that's a difficult question, because they were pretty normal kids. And so brothers and sisters have a tendency to pick on each other. And so that's probably it.
Do you remember your favorite moment with them?
No, we had a lot of good times. A lot of good times. Yeah. Mhm.
Did you ever have a pet when you either were any pet?
Yes. We had a pencil nose collie when I was growing up, and its name was Teddy. And we were best friends. I would sit on the step coming into our back porch, and Teddy would lay his head on my leg, and I'd pet him and talk to him, and he never answered me, but we were good friends. And then when Teddy got old and died, then my dad came home with another pencil nose collie, like Grandma and Grandpa Warner have, and its name was Judy. And I was older then, so I liked Judy a lot, but we weren't the good friends that Teddy and I were.
Did you have a person like best friend?
My neighbor girl, Lois. Mhm. Yes.
Do you remember how you and Lois did anything together?
We rode bicycles together, and she had an older sister, Donita, and she would paint her nails and brush her hair and everything. And she had a record player, an old Victrola that you cranked up and play records, and we danced.
Do you remember your favorite song?
Not really, because I always liked music so much. And so I liked all of them. And I remember probably one song I remember so well was Shanty in Old Shanty Town. Yeah. And by Spike Jones.
Grandma Net told me that you did plays, like drama. What else? What was your favorite play, or do you remember anything about that?
No, because made them up. Yeah.
Did you do choir or any band thingies?
Yes, choir, and we didn't have a band until I was a senior, and I played the trumpet. Then I learned to play the trumpet. Yeah. Mhm. But I was saying choir. I accompanied the choir, but I could, because I could read music, I could sing second or alto too, as well as soprano, because I could read the music, you know. But they always needed someone to play. So that was me.
Okay, I have one more question.
Okay.
You're probably going to get mad at me. Do you remember the worst thing you did as a kid? What was the worst thing you did that you remember? The naughtiest thing?
Why, I can't believe you would ask me that. You think I might have done something bad? Hmm?
All good kids do something bad. They're
Oh,
secretive.
they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I may have to take a rain check on that and tell you later what was the worst thing I did. Probably learning to drive. I pulled over too far and almost rolled the car over in the ditch. Yeah, that's not a good thing. But I really can't think of. I'll take a rain check on that and check back with you later.
Okay.
And you try to remember the worst thing that you've done growing up then, okay? So that when you're 90, your great grandchild asks you, you'll know.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, Grandma, tell me a little bit. What was your favorite or most memorable moment when Lee, Dawn, and I were growing up?
Oh, you both, all three of you, brought a lot of joy to my life. You really did. And I think that when you become older, you know, you don't worry so much about raising children as you do when you get older. You know, your concern is different. So you've always been a joy to me.
Different than parenting children. Grandparenting children is different. So,
Maybe it's because you send them home
yeah.
and you don't have that total responsibility, you know. But
What was your least favorite aspect about grandchildren? Did you find joy in the dead animals brought to your door, or the Chevette being driven when it shouldn't have been? Things like that.
well, there were a few times, and yes, to have someone come in with a bucket and say, "Grandma, look what I have," and find a mouse in there. I deserved a medal for acting because I I tried to be calm and said, "Where did you get the mouse?" And in the barn. And I said, "Well, the mouse can't live in the house. It has to live in the barn. So you need to take back right away." And he did. And I locked the door just in case.
Lee already let me know that he kind of asked a lot of questions about, what it was like with your grandparents and your parents. Can you tell me why Grandpa ended up buying a house in this area?
Grandpa Boswell.
Yeah, Grandpa Boswell.
Okay. The Boswell family had settled around Converse or northern Howard County. And when it would be great grandpa Joseph Boswell died, the land in northern Miami County was cheaper than it was out around Converse. That's flat, good land out there. $10,000 an acre land. And so their money went farther in northern Miami County. And so Uncle Thomas bought, and Wendell Marion bought, and that's how they got here. Yeah.
Over the years, what has made you want to stay here as far as staying in the same house, living on the same land?
Well, Bud and I were married 9.5 years before he died. But this had become home to me. It was home to me. And out home, Uncle Bob and Aunt Nell, of course, lived there. But the folks were gone. And nothing, I didn't have any reason to go home. We were established in the church with friends. The kids were starting school. Your mom is in the second grade. And it just felt like I should stay here. Yeah.
How old was Mom when Annie Fannett's family moved closer? When did they move to Denver?
Wendell was a baby, so she was only, let's see, when they moved back. Oh, no, she was older. And Lee,
Oh, when Lee was a baby?
when Lee
Okay.
was born, it was when they moved back. Yeah, I'm wrong about that. Yeah.
I was just curious because who all was around here while you were raising the kids? So while you were raising Mom and Uncle Wendell, having family close has always been a part of a reason that we stay around in this area.
Yeah, but Uncle Bob was the closest
Mhm.
to me because Uncle Bill didn't retire from the military, and was still active in the military when Bud died. And in fact, he was in Vietnam at that time. And so I don't, and Annie and Uncle Glenn were in Rushville, and they were more like grandparents, and we made a lot of trips. We spent a lot of weekends, and then Uncle Bill did retire, and they were in Detroit, and so we went. That's where we spent vacations, fishing with Uncle Bill.
Yeah, I remember being little and going up to Uncle Bill's.
Yeah.
So, and going fishing and pretending to be asleep so I could get carried in from the car. So, but that doesn't last forever. So,
Oh,
but
we don't.
as far as other vacations and trips that you enjoyed, what were some of your favorite vacations spots?
Yeah. Well, like I told Lee, the Blue Ridge Mountains and Gatlinburg and the Appalachians, and Germany was quite an adventure too.
Is there anywhere that you would have wanted to visit?
Yes, I would love to have gone to Switzerland and seen more of Europe, and Munich and the Bavarian, the that part of Germany. But um, that's about it.
Nowhere
Really.
else in the United States, just
Well, um, when I think about it, I've been to California, and I would like to go up the West Coast to British Vancouver and to Alaska. I, that's someplace else, but I'll read about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
watch a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, as far as like hopes and joys you have with the great grandkids, what would you want them to know for their futures to make sure that they enjoy?
Okay. I would hope that they all have a religious education and that they have love for God and to always be kind and considerate of other people and uh, to be happy. Yeah.
Which one do you think will do it?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Well, but maybe it's always so. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're good kids, and you kids are. The grandchildren have been good kids too.
Well, thank you.
So, yeah. At least as far as I know.
As far as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are things, your mother and Wendell will tell me about something that they did that I didn't know about.
They're going to be
either.
truthful when they're asked the naughty question.
So,
and you'll forget.
yeah. And they think they're safe now. Yeah.
Well, I will say, there's a lot of good memories of growing up and coming to your home because you were just always very patient. And I don't know how you were always so patient. I think the least patient moment was when we broke one of those cherubs that held sand. And despite being able to try to clean up the sand, we're not successful.
No,
but you were still very calm.
Sand is very hard to clean up. But when something's broken, what are you going to do about
Mhm.
it? It's broken. So,
And really, we were left unattended, so unsupervised. So
yes, yes. So, I never knew how that happened, but it did.
well, there were many trips to the lake, Lucan's Lake and Long Lake. So, because Long Lake, I think you took us to the most. And then my one of my most memorable or favorite trips is probably going to be our first trip to Hawaii, the trip to Hawaii to see Darlene, and then spend time there and go to the beach. And we stayed in those cabins along the water.
On the
So
North Shore.
yep, on the North Shore, and that was a really great experience. So getting to eat all that papaya with granola and yogurt was it was a really great trip and experience going there that year.
Oh,
So
that was wonderful.
yeah,
And you were a great flying companion too.
yeah,
You seem to know what we should do and everything.
yep. I had
Yeah.
never flown before, but so somehow
But
we figured it
somehow
out.
you were always a leader. So
And Darlene took us to some really nice places. I remember for her taking us to Lani Kai. So as a teenager, I would have liked a lot more beach time, but we also had some good experiences.
well,
So
and then you had the experience of staying with Chris and Star,
yes,
and that was I don't know that you remember having even met her before, and certainly not very many times, but I'll always remember she had that BMW,
hmm
wasn't it?
yep, a blue convertible. Yep.
Blue convertible. So this dark-headed
Oh yeah.
and this blonde hair uh, in front of us, your hair flying, and I think, oh my.
Yeah, we went and hiked Diamond Head together. So, and
Yes,
we had a nice time.
yeah,
So, it was an enjoyable trip all around.
yeah, she showed you a lot of, and you got to go to a Greek
Yes, got to go to that
uh,
Greek restaurant with her and her
restaurant,
friends.
and
So,
it
uh,
was, she was getting married or something, that girl.
yeah, that was yeah, she was. And there was a belly dancer there. It was a really neat experience going out there. So,
Well, and then when Star was
mhm.
married, um, I remember that we thought about what kind of a dress she should have because Star's wedding dress cost several $1,000s. And we're just poor little farm people. And I took you to Fort Wayne. I think we looked at every store. You tried on every dress that was your size. And I thought, we're going to go home with nothing. But we finally found a dress that would we thought would be suitable.
Yes. Yeah.
And and I felt real good about you being properly dressed for the occasion to light candles. And Chris's friend came in her jeans and t-shirt.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah. So, yeah. So,
Yeah. At this ritzy wedding,
mhm.
when we'd been to all these fancy places.
Yeah, because we went to the Wahoo Country Club for dinner as well beforehand. So, but we knew how to eat from the silverware, so we made it work.
Yeah, we made it work. We may not have understood the wine glasses, but
I couldn't drink
but-
wine anyways at that point. So,
so you were
so,
safe.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But the silverware was okay.
yeah.
We knew about that.
Yeah, part of the
Yeah.
reason that I was so well dressed, and probably part of the reason that Jubilee's so well dressed, is because you and I, we would go shopping a lot before competitions for choir, because you had to make sure you're presentable, and then of course for other things too, including me and Adam and I's first date. So we also went to several stores to try to find appropriate green shirt. So
Yes.
so,
But you and Donnie were alike in shopping. Donnie would look and would come home with nothing. And
well, no sense in buying it if you're not going to actually wear it.
you're right. But Lee always knew what he wanted and would go get it. And that was it. No questions asked. So, yeah.
Well, I think that that's all I have. So, is there anything that you want me specifically to know?
No, the time you and Adam lived with me,
Yeah.
yeah, we just have a lot of memories, don't
Yeah.
we?
Did I live here or was it just Adam that lived here? Because it seems like all I did was work. So,
Work in college.
work in college.
Yeah.
So,
And he worked in college too, but somehow he had more time than you.
yeah, he had more free time because I worked those 2 jobs at that point.
Yeah,
So,
you're
so
right.
he had a lot more free time because he just worked one. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
but I wasn't being paid with the GI Bill to
right.
go to school.
Yeah,
So, but so,
yeah.
but,
You had to work. Yeah.
yeah, and so so you and Adam got to spend a whole lot more time together. So, but
We did.
yeah,
Our evenings, I probably spent more time with him than you did.
yeah, it made the first year of marriage pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, so we got through pretty easily there. So, but and then we found our own house and went on about our days.
Mm,
So
I had an empty nest
empty nest syndrome after.
syndrome. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I don't think I have anything else. So I can hear Donnie's family in the background.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh. Well, I'm sure Mary asked all the good questions, huh?
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I know you went to school in Young America. Where were you born at? I don't know that.
I was born on the family farm 1 mile north and 60 rods east.
Mhm.
In that house that Mike Forgey bought the farm and then put up the hog barns, remember?
Mhm.
And Tara, the first time we went by there, Tara said, "What? I've been there,"
Yeah.
because she was friends with Savannah
Oh yeah. So
Forgey.
that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was born at home, and it was a cold, icy day,
Mhm.
and Doc Ed Lybrook, our family doctor, lived about 3 miles from us, and he had come on Sunday and stayed all night because mother was in labor, and he was afraid if he went home, he wouldn't be able to get back.
Yeah.
So, and I was born about 5 o'clock in the morning
In the
on a
morning.
Monday.
That's pretty crazy. Really? Did they stay there?
Yeah.
Drove down the road. What's something you're most proud of that you've done?
My family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I figured it'd be.
Yeah.
That's why I
My-
almost didn't
My
ask.
family. Yeah.
I
A
figured
few kids and yeah.
Yeah.
And your kids. Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah. You bet. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of how you've grown and your work ethics and the kind of work you do and everything.
Here. I'm just buying. Want to ask Grandma Mary anything?
Grandma Mary, when were you first born?
Oh.
When,
When were you first born? What year were you born?
yeah.
What's your bear's name?
December 2nd,
I think his name is Titos.
1935.
His name is
And
Titos.
I'd like your bear. I really do. He's a nice one.
December 2nd, what year?
I don't know what it is.
1935. That's been a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
It's a microphone. It's the mic. It's like kind of like a microphone.
After me.
Where have you worked? Where did you first work?
Where did you water?
I know these.
my first job was with the 12-mile State Bank
Mm-hmm.
Galveston branch in Galveston.
Oh, really?
And then I went from there to the Peru Production Credit Association
Mhm.
at Logansport.
And then you come here.
And yes, I did.
And you left
Because
here.
I got married and moved up here. And then I worked at the abstract office
And now you just
for
stay.
40
And now
years.
And now you don't want to do odd.
That's right. Right? Yeah. Yeah. You got it, girl. Yes. And then I worked at the law office for 15 years. So,
So I remember you worked for Dunn Jenkins, Abstract, and then Berkshire. But
right. Mhm. Yeah.
And
But-
now you just stay here. And you stay here. And sometimes kids stay the night.
Yes.
Or just like staying the night.
Yeah. I don't think you've stayed all night, have you?
No,
No.
I haven't.
You-
I only stay up there not for these many days.
Oh, okay.
Like 7 days or 18.
maybe 18 total.
Yeah.
Probably more than that.
You need to spend the night with me.
Oh, do you like my bracelet?
I do. I like it.
It's from Christmas.
Uh-huh.
This is
it's a-
all.
Charm bracelet. I
Yeah,
used
and
to
it's
have
from-
one too.
Yeah, and it's from Hello Kitty.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Kitty.
Yeah.
Oh.
And who makes the movie? Her name is Johnny.
Corbin?
I think you're silly. Yeah.
I am silly.
Yeah.
When did you first get old?
What now?
She said, when did you first get old? Ask Grandma Mary when she graduated from high school and if she did any good.
Did you?
Yes. 1953.
It's
And
like Jubilee.
I was valedictorian of our class.
Was you new from the classroom?
She said, were you new in
Yeah.
your classroom?
Yeah,
I
and
know she is valedictorian. Is that number 1 or number 2?
Yeah,
Number 1?
number 1.
There you
Yeah,
go. Out of
and
13, right?
14.
14.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah,
For
and
sure.
yeah, big deal.
No?
Yeah,
First place is first place.
and I had to give a speech, and Governor Henry
is that tape?
Shrieker
Is that tape?
was our speaker
The
too.
governor?
Mm.
The governor?
He was
Really?
governor. Yes,
Look,
and
it's Matt.
and our principal knew the governor, and so that was a privilege.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more you. Who was you born by?
Lee
What was
Peter
your name?
was my dad, and
Who's your mom?
Catherine, and they called her Katie
Katie.
Peter. She was my mama. Mhm.
And then was you a baby or?
I was a tiny baby. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it one.
And then I grew and got to be as
Grandma
big
Mary.
as you. And then look at me now.
Punishment was.
Did you know the story
Daddy, what's on the foot?
when Dad
Slipped on
Donnie
the
fell out the
tape.
window? But we all know that Mary pushed him.
When I fell out of the second story.
Yeah.
They always tell that story.
Grandma Nat found him in a bush just chewing on his thumb, sitting in his little
I
cowboy boots.
know.
She
And I was at work
He was just like,
when that happened.
Go show Grandma Nat your foot.
no.
Why not?
Yeah.
Very heavy. Very.
What?
The heavier they are, the harder they fall.
Grandma
Mary, you're the best.
There we go. What do you notice that's changed the most since
I love
Oh, no.
you, Grandma
when you were a kid
Since
and
I love you.
1995.
as far as,
I love you, Barry.
I don't know, like vehicles and just how
Barry's
Everything.
my bear.
anything
Barry's my
that you
bear.
can think of?
He's
Well,
a cutie.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep,
Here, I'll hold him.
beep. No, my
I
bear.
I learned to drive a 1939 Chevrolet. And
And then and then them not how to drive it.
she never drove it. But now we have cars that drive themselves
Yeah.
and go so much faster. Yeah.
Grandma Mary, what do you remember the first concert you have ever been to?
Probably the first concert I ever went to was to see Liberace, and he was a pianist that played. And then when I was in high school, we went to the Berry Bowl at Logansport, where they played basketball, and watched the Philharmonic orchestras. But we didn't have concerts like they do today, you know. But I've been to them lately, or more lately. I've seen Willie Nelson and seen a lot of people. Yeah.
Do you remember the concert that you've been like last? Like that you've been like last? So like the concert you most recently been to?
Yeah, that was probably Willie Nelson when I saw him at Fort Wayne in the theater. And he was live though with his family, you know. And but that that's last one that I went to.
Have you ever seen like a tornado in person?
Yes, there was a tornado that went through Young America, and we watched it at our house on the farm, and it kind of went right down the middle of the road, and it sounded like a freight train, and it did a lot of damage, but we didn't have any damage at home. Maybe some sticks down in the yard, you know, because we had great big maple trees in front of the house. Yeah. So that was kind of scary. Further south around Young America and east toward Galveston, it did a lot of damage. Yeah.
Did it hit any like power lines?
Yes, it did. It no,
Galveston is way over here.
I know. And that was a long time ago. I was still in school. And I know you live in Galveston, but Galveston had damage and they were without power.
Which Galveston? The one in Texas or the one in America?
The Galveston you live in. Yeah. Yeah. See, Young America is just west of Galveston. So, yeah.
Did the tornado cause like a big power outage?
We could find,
Yes, it did. Yes, it did, Deacon. And Corbin, what now?
Maybe we could go west and look for your old house.
Well, it's still there. And your mommy knows the house that I was born in because her girlfriend wound up living there when she was a girl. And when your mommy was in school with Savannah, they were friends, and your mommy spent the night with her. Yeah, Savannah Forgey. I don't know if you know her. Yeah, but your mommy knows where the house is.
I got two people that have the same name.
Wait,
Yeah.
Is the barn in your backyard? Did you ever was that ever like do you ever remember a time when that barn was like where that barn was like you were like able to use it and it was like functional, not like all run down and broken?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Because we had milk cows and we had hogs. And then the east side of the barn, there was granaries in there. And you could drive in between them and a ladder to go up to the hayloft. And there was a hay fork that would come down and pick up the bales and bring it up into the hayloft.
Did you ever jump into the hay?
Sure did. And played in the hayloft and swung on the fork too.
Did it make you itchy when you went in the hay?
Yes, or to sit in the oats or the corn when we were picking, and shelling. Yes, it makes you all itchy and scratchy.
So you helped around and so did you help around and shuck corn and stuff?
I never shucked corn, but I would take water out to the field to my dad and brothers and the ones that were shucking corn.
And then they would water the field?
No, they would drink.
Oh.
Yeah. We didn't have cups like you do today.
So you had to use buckets?
Well, or a jug. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you ever cook the piggies into pork chop?
Well, my mother did most of the cooking, but we butchered, and so we had pork chops, and I did learn to cook them too.
Did what were all your family members' jobs? Like what was your dad's job mainly?
Well, he was the main one, kind of like the boss,
Yeah.
And so my brother Bob and Bill and Bob, they milked. And my job was to gather the eggs and to also feed the baby calves. And we had there was a bucket with a nipple on it, so they would suck that nipple. And we'd mix up like milk for them. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was my job. And we all worked in the garden, and I would need to fill the wood box every evening too, because we had a wood stove that mother cooked on. And so we had a box that sat behind the stove, and we filled that up with wood that my dad and the boys had chopped. You know what it is to chop wood,
Yeah.
Daddy.
Like he used the axe and he cut the wood up and then he threw it into the oven.
Yeah, and in pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So he splits the logs.
Yeah, and split the log. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Did you ever use an axe to cut a log or anything?
No, I never did that. And I probably have cut my leg off if I'd done that.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite fruit?
Favorite what?
Fruit.
Fruit? Peaches.
Ooh, yeah, I love peaches. They're so sweet.
Uh-huh.
So what's your favorite vegetable?
maybe broccoli.
Me too. I really love it when it's like cooked.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, I like it cooked too. Yeah,
I also like cooked carrots.
and I like carrots, and I like potatoes.
Me too. I
And-
like almost cooked everything.
Yeah, and green beans and everything. Yeah.
Did you in your family ever eat anything like salmon or like beef or anything ever?
Yes, we had beef and pork and chicken, and there was an A&P store in Logansport, and my mother would buy halibut fish, and so and then when it was rainy or so my dad couldn't work and in the fields and everything, he would take my brothers and I fishing, and we'd catch fish, and he would clean them, and Mom would fry them, and fried fish and fried potatoes and slaw.
Yeah, I love fishing. One time, me and Hudson were like carrying the fish to the bucket, and when Lee caught the fish, and it was a big old bass, and so it it like flopped out of our hands and it like flopped down a hill, and we had to run down the hill, grab it, and run back up. And then I'm pretty sure, and then another time it like flopped out and then flopped into the water, and then it like got away, and I and when I went to help, I kind of just put my fishing rod down, I reeled it out, and then I put rocks on it. So if a fish got on it, it wouldn't pull my real fishing rod in. Also, my like buoy or whatever you call it, it like got lost in the pond. It somehow got like unhooked off, and then it like floated away into the pond.
Well, I remember one time my dad and I went to Lake Secret, Indiana, and there's a lake there. And he rented a boat because we didn't have a boat. And he and I went fishing. Okay. And so I was never great at casting. Okay. You can believe that.
Oh yeah,
Can't you?
sometimes Dad, remember when we were fishing that one time, and I with Papa, me, you, Dad, and like Lindley, and remember when I kept like casting it so high it like hooked onto a leaf one time, and I kept getting it stuck on branches and like branches under the water so many times. I think it was like a total of like 12 times.
Well, I stood up in the boat to cast, and that really rocked the boat. But and that didn't make my dad very happy either, because he was kind of afraid of the water and everything. But I'll tell you about one time fishing with Uncle Bill and Aunt Sally in Detroit on Lake. What was it, Lake?
Michigan?
Hmm?
Michigan? Or a lot smaller?
No, in Detroit, where Selfridge House Air Force Base is. But anyway, we were out in this boat, and Aunt Sally cast, and guess what she caught?
A
A
bass.
seagull.
A seagull?
A seagull. She caught a bird.
How did she catch a bird instead of a fish? What if
It
wait,
was flying, and she caught it. And I tell you, it was not a happy bird. But
wait, what if you mistaken it for like a really big fish with wings
well, that would have been
and feet?
great if it had been a great big fish. But Uncle Bill had to get that hook out of that bird, and that bird wasn't happy.
She must have casted like 50 feet up, cause. Did you ever own like a sweet car, like a really good like pool car ever, like when you were younger?
I had a 1952 Chevrolet Coupe, and it was really a neat car. It was aqua color bottom, and it had a cream colored top on it. And the interior was that aqua and cream color too. It was really, and Uncle Lee found a picture just like it on his phone one day. And the neighbor boy, Kenny, they traded cars every 2 years. So I bought the car in 1954, and it was 2 years old and had about 2,000 miles on it, and gave $500 for the car.
You know, nowadays, $500 for like a car that nice would basically be getting a Lamborghini for $1,000.
I don't think we get a Lamborghini for $1,000.
I know, but getting one of those like at the time would be like getting a Lamborghini for like $1,000, which would be like crazy because
It would be crazy, wouldn't it? Yeah.
were those cars like at the time like known for being like really nice?
What do you mean? That
Like
my
were they like
Chevy-
popular?
Yeah. Yes, because people could afford the Chevrolet. The Cadillac or a Lincoln Continental were the ones that cost a lot more money.
So those ones were like better than what you had?
Oh, I don't know that they were better.
So wait, they were more popular than what you had?
Well, only with people that could afford them. And it was rich people that could have afford them, you know.
Yeah, so at the time that was like the one of the most expensive cars that you could get.
Well,
Or
no,
one of the expensive cars like at your area.
She got a good deal,
yeah.
basically.
Oh, yeah, Dad, you take over.
On it. That's all.
You take over. I can.
I guess he's done.
Yeah, you have some good ones. I always remember you picking me up from like preschool, I think, in Peru. And then we would drive home, and I'd make you sing songs and stuff. Like, you remember, like, Woody Woodpecker and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff like that?
And we'd sing the Dry Bones.
Yeah. And all those. Oh, yeah, you had those on a tape or something, right? It was a good time.
We'd sing a lot, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despair.
That's how they are, too. A lot of music.
How many years did you have also?
How many years did you have school? Did you go
12.
12 years?
12.
And now how many?
We didn't have preschool or kindergarten.
I had preschool.
I
and
know
I
you
didn't
do.
do fun friends.
Yeah, but I didn't get to do that.
What do you get to do?
I just got to go to the first grade. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
What were you expected of? That was a good question. What were you expected to know in kindergarten? Anything? Or first grade, I mean.
Well,
You just had first grade, right?
no,
No,
we
12
did.
years?
We didn't have to know everything that kids do now.
So
They-
we didn't have
They taught us.
we didn't have
But
preschool and kindergarten. This high school.
yeah,
Listen.
and I knew my alphabet, and I knew my numbers too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
There you go.
I knew them, and I knew how to color and stay in the line, and I probably knew how to write my name because I had 2 big brothers that, and we didn't have TV or anything.
Did you
So-
guys do math?
Well, I did math in school.
Yes. I just did right. I just did right. Sometimes
Mhm.
play.
Hmm?
Did you play?
Yeah, I played.
What did you play with?
I played with my doll. I had a doll called Mary Ann,
That's a
and
good
I
question.
played with the dog Teddy.
That's what I named my
That
bear.
is
Teddy
interesting.
Bear.
Listen,
Because
Grandma
my
Mary
name is
didn't have
Teddy.
the internet or
My
anything.
name is Teddy. Nice to meet
What made you want to play piano?
Hey, tell
I
Teddy.
don't know.
I'm just,
I just did. Yeah, I wanted to.
I will do the
Yeah, my mother played the piano too, and so I wanted to do that.
was it difficult for you to learn? Or was it kind of easy?
I'll make a video that we can
It-
watch
It
on your
was
camera.
easy to learn. Yeah, it really was. To read the notes and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to tell me?
Give me some apple juice.
No,
I don't know.
I guess not. But no, we had a good time, and like I've told Mary, I really, you kids were the joy of my life, you know.
Mhm.
And now your kids have. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you've almost taken second place.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but they're a real joy,
Mhm.
and
They are.
I'm so glad.
Sit down.
I feel like my life has really been blessed with,
Me too.
yeah. I'm sorry that Grandpa Boswell didn't live longer
Mhm.
because he would have loved you kids, and he was such a good person, and he would have loved his great grandkids.
Where's your favorite place to go for vacation, do you think, in general?
Yeah,
Oh,
the Appalachian
oh,
Mountains.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought maybe the beach.
Well, that yeah, that second
Yeah.
is the beach. Yeah,
Do you remember when we went
yeah.
for
The Gulf
Star's wedding?
Shores.
Gulf Shores?
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the other tape?
I guess he's being quiet. He put tape over his mouth.
Where's the other tape?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, well,
Yeah.
love you, Grandma Mary.
Well,
Thanks for
okay. Love you.
What is your most favorite holiday tradition?
Christmas.
Anything specific about Christmas?
Well, the family all being together, and it's kind of bittersweet too, because my grandmother died just before Christmas, and my mother died on the 24th of Christmas, or before, and so that makes it kind of bittersweet, but having the family all together and everything, and of course Easter, springtime, or hopefully that we don't have an ice storm or something, which we have had, but there again, having a family all together. Yeah.
Okay. What's your best advice for a soon-to-be 26-year-old woman?
Well, 26, and Carrie, I can't hardly believe you're going to be that old, but you are. And so I guess finish your education. I do want you to do that. Yeah. And because even go for your master's, do it. Just do it. And so that you always have a career. You have means to support yourself. And teaching is, I think that's a good thing for you too. Summer's free, and yeah.
What is one of your favorite memories with me?
So many, Carrie, so many. Yeah. And I think when you were inducted into
National Honor Society?
Yes, that was quite an honor, and seeing you graduate and everything, start to college, and yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of happy memories. Yeah.
Is there anything you want me to know that I didn't ask?
No. And I've made a book that Mary has written things. And then if you are able to see this video and everything, we've covered a lot of territory. Yeah. You brought a lot of joy. Yeah, you really did. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. You've brought a lot of joy in my life. Yeah.
You ready for Nora?
And I thought when you were born then I wouldn't see you graduate, but here you are. And here am I. Yeah. So come on in and sit down here.
Ask Grandma about the fly's water.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want me to get the fly swatter,
Okay.
do you?
Whatever.
It's a cat got her tongue.
What were your favorite things to do in kindergarten?
When
In kindergarten, what were your
Oh.
favorite things to do?
I didn't get to go to kindergarten because we didn't have it back then. I had to go right straight into the first grade.
What did you do in first grade then?
Tried to pay attention to the teacher. Yeah.
Did you even pay attention to the teacher?
I tried to, yeah, and I'm sure I did, but I was only 5. And how old are you?
6. Because I just had my birthday.
I
Like
know.
a little bit ago.
And I know. Yeah. But when you were 5, you were in kindergarten and learned a lot of things, didn't you? Yeah. But we didn't have toys to play with.
Why?
No, not at school.
Then you just had to do work. Just sit down and do work.
Yeah, we had to do our work and sit at our desk. And we had recess. We got to go to recess and go out and play.
What
and
did you
swing on the maypoles? And I got big blisters on my hands, and my mother took me to the doctor, and he lived right around us, and he said, if I see you on those maypoles again, I'm gonna spank you. And he would have gotten out of his car and spanked me.
What was your favorite birthday party?
My 90th. Just the one that you got to come to. Okay.
What did you do and think when my mommy was born?
I came to the hospital to see her. And when I held her, I thought, oh, what a sweet baby. But I won't live long enough to see you graduate. And here she graduated, and it's going to be 26 already. Your mommy was in labor, and she had you at home. And I thought that she should be calling a midwife. And so I said to your mommy, Are you gonna call her, or am I? And I thought you were such a little sweetheart.
Did you pick the name though?
I didn't pick the name. No.
Nora, your middle name is Grandma's middle name.
Smith, isn't it?
Catherine, ask her about that. Ask her about your middle names.
I think your mommy had your name picked out already.
I think she did.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Yeah. And I like that too. Yeah.
What do you hope for me?
I hope that you grow up to always be kind and considerate of other people and treat everyone like you would like to be treated, with kindness and love. And I hope that you're always happy with everything you do. Okay? And I hope you have a lot of friends. Yeah. And you will have. I know you will.
I already do.
I know you probably have more than you can count, don't you? Yeah. And you'll make more. Always be a friend. Always be a friend to everyone. I don't remember a great deal about that, but I've been told that it was very, very cold and icy winter time, and the doctor came because I was born at home too, and the doctor came the day before and stayed all night until I was born. And so, and I had two big brothers, you know. Bill was 6 and Bob was 3. Yeah.
When was my grandma born?
She was born March 12th, 1961, and I was 25 years old.
That's how old my mommy is right now.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys rush to the hospital?
When your grandma Neb was born.
Yes.
Well, we had been out. It was Sunday, and we'd gone to church, and then we went out to my folks for dinner, and my mother said, I needed to go to the hospital. We needed to stop in Peru, but we came home, and Grandpa Boswell fed the hogs and the cattle and everything, and I took a shower and did bookwork. Then we went to the hospital, and we were only there about 2 hours until Grandma Knapp was born. Yeah. And with Uncle Wendell, I didn't even want to go to the hospital, but I didn't think that he was going to be born then. I just had a backache, but I was in the hospital about 30 minutes until he was born. So I could have had him at home if I hadn't been forced to go. Yeah.
Why do you not want to go to the hospital though?
Well, sometimes when you're going to have a baby, if that baby is not ready to be born, they send you home. And I didn't want them to do that with me. Is having you, all you kids here.
Turn and listen to Grandma.
Yeah. And seeing you grow up and learn from the time you're little tiny babies. And I loved rocking you all. That's maybe my favorite time, holding a baby in my arms and rocking it. Even if you cry, then you grow up and run around. But then you keep growing. Yeah. So it's great to be a grandma and a great grandma. Yeah. I like it. Mhm. I love you.
Okay. Have you had a good day, Mom?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
I think everybody had a good time.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Well, I guess the reason I wanted to do this is because, I've been interested in talking to you about relatives and wanting to know everything that you remember about them and about your friends and your life. So I thought this was a good start. And maybe now I can come up with a way to, record what you know about each family member that you remember, or that anything you've ever heard about the ones that you don't. That way that won't be lost to the ages.
Okay.
So that was my motivating thing for this. Plus, you mean a lot to everybody, and I just thought it would be fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have. Yes. And we'll see how much Frank cuts out because he can edit.
Yes, I'm hopeful for that.
Okay.
And maybe now we can get started on the genealogy too, because that will be really interesting.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and then some other projects. So,
Yeah.
we've worked on a recipe book together and captured a lot of Mom's recipes and pictures, and she had those as Christmas presents for all the kids last year. So, that was good.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I'm just grateful. I know you had a hard row to hoe after, you were widowed and everything, but I'm grateful for everything. You always did a lot for us and supported us and whatever we would do. And you're still my biggest fan, I think, for some of the things I do. And I appreciate that. I don't understand it, but I appreciate it. So I love you.
Well,
And I know sometimes you say you don't know how you got me, but here I am.
well, well, I've always thought you should be Aunt Sally's girl because Aunt Sally was never on time, you know, but nonchalant and like she had all the time in the world, and that's how you are too.
Well,
So I'm glad you're laid back and and don't get anxious or I remember the bus being a Kohl's and you are putting on your sock. And Wendell is at the door ready to go out. And I'm thinking, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
It's always
But-
Wendell, Wendell, Wendell.
But you would go strolling out. Yeah. So,
I've gotten better with time management.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah. So, but I'm glad I had you. And I love you too.
good to know. Okay, well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for everything. And I love you. And we'll continue making memories.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And we've, it's been a good life. It has been. Yeah. So,
I wish it would have been easier for you, but
well,
you were born resilient, I think.
it, I had help from above. Yeah. So, yeah.
Love you too, Mom.
Yeah. I love you too. I'm glad you're here too, Bill. So, it makes our family complete, really. And I appreciate all you do.
Hey, everybody. Want me to sit on your lap? Yeah. Hey, everybody. Woo! I'm just glad to be here, and I don't know how it would be going from the era of you write down everything, pencils and paper and stuff. Now all of a sudden you're using keyboard in the computer age. It's just crazy, and digital currency and cards and phones and just my God. I remember when we had 3 channels on the television, and we had a party line telephone, and
Mhm.
now look at us, freaking computers and these damn things are just a pain in the rear.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
Do
honey.
everything on the phone. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Lot of changes, and Samantha brought that out too. Yeah, no.
I'm anxious
And
to see the video from today.
yeah. When we had manual typewriters, and of course our bookkeeping was all with ledgers that we did, and now they want everything on computer. But at the office, I kept a ledger too. And Dick Hammond at Comerford's said, he told James Comerford, you don't have to question Mary because she's got it. It's written down. Yeah. Yeah. It's there. You can read it. Yeah.
And one other thing we need to broach real quick before I get out of here. Do you think it's high time you guys get together, tell Wendell he's adopted? Sorry.
Well, I'll leave that up to you. Okay. You can tell him.
I just talked him in. Didn't tell you
No.
call you more.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, Mom, you want to have recorded? Or?
I can't think No,
I think
it's, we've, there's been, I guess when I look at 90 years, I've lived life because I've loved, lost, been happy, and so.
Well, you've helped many people along the way, and your people love you and respect you. And every time I go somewhere, somebody says, "How's your mom?" Always. So I would say a life well lived.
Lot of friends along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's always every day. If I see people, they'll ask about you. So. But don't get it twisted either, because a good friend of mine said that they know you very well. And once they told me that you're a very nice person and they love you, and they said that you're so nice, you could tell somebody to go to hell and they would look forward to the trip. So I'm not going to forget that part either.
Yeah.
And neither should you or anyone out in video land.
Well, there's no need to shout and yell at someone, but you can usually tell them.
Sometimes with just a glance.
Right. So
I love you.
yeah, I love you too. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's been very few people that I've felt like I couldn't tolerate, very, very few. But there's been some that have ruffled my feathers. Yeah. But it takes a lot to do that. So
I concur.
yeah, a lot of happy memories growing up and with you kids and grandkids, and I told Donnie, I think that the grandkids about need to take second place with the great grandkids now.
That's funny.
So, yeah. But,
Yeah, we had some good times. Always had a nice vacation. Like we might just have gone to southern Indiana, but it was always fun. And then Mom was always there for our marching band or anything that we did. So you were very supportive. So I appreciate it.
well, you were my best friends. You really were. And I wanted to be involved with your life and marching band and choir, swing choir, measuring everybody for dresses and all those things. And how many times, though, and you've done it too, I come to school to pick up the grandkids, maybe, and this kid is sitting here, don't have a way home. Where's his parents? Grandma would take you, yeah. But you do that too.
It might be a little different now, but because of all the rules they have in place. But yes, I would try to help. And you weren't just our mom for all these functions, you were like everybody's mom. And then when I had my kids, then you weren't just their grandma. Everybody, all my kids' friends called you Grandma Mary. They still do. So that's pretty amazing. And people might forget a lot of things about what you did or that, but they're never going to forget how you made them feel.
Well,
So,
Diane, Chad's mother, Chad and Nathan's mother, worked in the courthouse, and someone had said something about me, and she said, "I don't know her," and that person was with her in the hall, and Diane said, "Oh, Grandma Mary, how are you?" And this girl said, You said you didn't know her. And she said, "I didn't know what her name was. She's Grandma Mary." Yeah. And
that's what it was. That's what happens when you're present and there for
yeah,
people.
but
They'll always
we
remember that.
sat together at football games, and that's all she knew me by was Grandma Mary.
What about that one funny time that you followed the vocational bus to work in Wabash and my brother was on the vocational bus? Tell them what happened.
Yeah, this kid mooned me.
And then he about died when he realized it was my brother's mom. Hilarious.
But it was hilarious. Oh my. Yeah. Wonder whatever happened to him.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it is too. Yeah.
I won't mention his name.
Yeah. Well, Judy,
I know. His mother was Judy. I know.
Yeah.
Uh,
And they lived in Mexico. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Jeff Zimmerman. Now everybody knows.
Yeah. And too many years, too many moons ago.
Well, that was funny. Well, maybe we'll do a part 2 of this, but it's been a lot of fun, Mom.
Yeah.
I love you.
Oh,
And I can't think of anything, and I don't want to get weepy, so it's
yeah.
good.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Where your girls made me weepy. So, yeah. That's enough. Yeah.